Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Whatcha Paintin Wednesday on this stormy Michigan day. What is the weather like where you're at? There's this storm coming across all of the country, all the way from Texas, all the way up like Missouri, all the way through Michigan, and it's going east. And we have had thunderstorms all morning and just tons of rain. For us, where we live, um, it's really great for our pond. I mean, usually in the spring is when our pond fills up. So I'm not complaining. Long as we don't have tornadoes, I worry about the middle of the country. I know Missouri had tornadoes last night. I need to call my family today. Make sure everyone's all right. So welcome to What You Paint Wednesday. Hello, Woolly Girl. Hi, Pam. Here from Alabama. Ooh, are you getting any weather today? It's finally quiet. It quit raining. Well, maybe it's still sprinkling, but it's not thundering now. There's just water everywhere, standing water in our yard. It's a beautiful day if you're a duck. Just cloudy skies and wind, lots of wind. Oh, I would take rain and thunderstorms over wind any day. I don't like the wind. Do not. Well, hopefully you stay safe. With wind comes, like, a lot of times down trees or, even just limbs and branches all over the yard, and loss of power a lot of times. And it's just not fun being out in the wind. I'm just not a fan. What's your temperature like down there? Let me guess. It's 70 here, like around high 70s, high 60s. Supposed to get, I shouldn't have said 70. I meant to say like mid to high 60s. So if it's that here, it's got to be really warm there. Hi, Mendy. Little stormy there too. I know. I don't mind the storm. If my dog wasn't so scared, I would, because I like a thunderstorm. I think it's cool. But oh, it's 82 down there. Yeah, that I actually thought it would be warmer than that. Hi, Christine. They had thunderstorms and hail on and off yesterday. Cold, wet, and windy. Here today. Here too today. As long as those darn tornadoes stay away. Well, we're under a tornado watch. I don't know if we still are, but when I got up this morning, we were. Right now we're in the calm after the storm. Oh, of course I just heard thunder. It's just really quiet and still out there, but it's still raining. Painting some fall designs this week. What's everyone else doing today? Oh, you're not too far from Dolphin Island. Yes, I visited there probably 3 years ago. Hi, Donna. Oh, and you're having a blizzard. 14 inches yesterday. Oh my gosh. How crazy is that? South Dakota got 14 inches, and here we are having thunderstorms. That's wild. Christine is painting her beehives. Awesome. Getting ready for spring, huh? All right, I'm painting turkeys today. Yeah. Who else? Oh, Utah. Wasn't it? Is it Utah? No. Where does yeah, Little Stitch Girl lives in Utah, and she was saying that they just keep getting piled on with snow. I'm like, oh, that is a bummer. I would be so bummed to have, like, they just keep getting like a ton of snow. And she showed pictures and it said, this is not a hill. This is just like from the snow being plowed. And it was just giant. It looked like it was probably 20 foot tall where they had plowed the snow in this parking lot. It just doesn't say spring, does it? So Donna, what is it normally like that for you this time of year to get 14 inches of snow, or is this just kind of a fluke thing for you? I mean, gosh, it just seems so late to get that much snow. I mean, it's possible we can get snow anytime in April, but like it'll maybe get 2 or 3 inches and then by midday it's melted. Hi Tammy, how are you? Oops. Kevin and I, the last couple of nights, have watched on Netflix. It was, oh my gosh. I am so sorry for that loud noise. My camera just fell. Holy Toledo, that scared the crud out of me. Did it scare you guys? I don't even know how to fix it. Surprised it didn't take out the phone that I'm doing Witch Paint Wednesday on. Okay, this is not working. Why did it do that? Well, I was going to record myself painting this today on my camera, but guess not. So I'm just going to take the whole thing out. Jeez, Lou. Alrighty then. Everything's going to fall now. All right, I just got to take the camera off this thing. Whoo, live video, isn't that fun? This poor camera. It's been through the ringer. You just got back from lunch? Sometimes we get spring snow, but 28 inches in 5 days isn't normal. Oh my gosh, 28 inches in 5 days. Well, I am so sorry. I feel bad for you. That's ridiculous. Okay, now that my heart's going pitter patter really fast. I don't even know what I was talking about now. Oh yeah, we were watching on Netflix the documentary on how do you guys say it? I say, well, I can't hear you, so it's not going to matter. Documentary or documentary? Like I say it both ways because I'll say it one way and I'm like, that doesn't sound right, and then I'll say it the other way. But anyways, on Garth Brooks, so good. Even if you don't like country music, you should watch it. I've never seen anyone with so much enthusiasm in my entire life, and I've always wanted to see him in concert, and I never have because he just took it to another level, and he was just a force to be reckoned with, and he changed country music, and he stepped it up as far as entertainment goes. Such an inspiring man. On the bright side, going to be 60 and 70s next week. Yep. Then you'll have tons of water from all the snow melting. I feel like winter doesn't want to let go. Yeah, I feel the same way, Christine. And I think I mean, actually, I felt that way a few weeks ago because we were getting snow and it was just cold, freezing cold. And we were getting, well, when we went on our girls' trip, not this past weekend, but the weekend before, we went up to Traverse City and they had like 8 to 10 inches of snow on a Saturday. So, like a week ago, Saturday. Um, and but our January and February was super mild. So, I guess, making up for lost time. Documentary? That's how you say it, or is that how it's supposed to be said? But anyways, if you get a chance if you have Netflix and you get a chance to watch it, it's just so inspiring. And I have to admit, I don't know where I got this notion. I'm assuming probably from the tabloids or heard it on the news or who knows where I heard it because this was so many years ago. But when he and Trisha Yearwood got together, I thought he was like having an affair. And turns out no. So that was good to get that. Not that I dwelled on it or anything, but it was just nice to hear the truth from, him and his ex-wife. And it was just so good. And he retired when he was in the height of his career in the 90s to because he was, wanted to be with his girls. He has 3 girls. I mean, it was fascinating to me. What an amazing thing to do. I don't know of any other star that has a family that said, I'm giving it all up for my kids. And then he made that comeback and he's just as popular as ever. So cool. And I didn't realize that he played Central Park and there were like a million people there. And he was afraid no one would come because it was his first time playing back in the States after he had retired. And he's like, who's going to show up, And anyways, so good. So if you get a chance to watch it, if you're looking for something to watch, if you get burnout on floss tube, that's a good one to watch. I love listening to people's stories. And I watched Primetime or Prime Video has so many good documentaries, so many good ones. And a lot of them are on bands. And I love to hear how, people got started. And I just love that. 88 here in Florida today. We've had a warm winter, only about 4 or 5 days of cold, 40s to 30s. That is cold for Florida. Well, in Michigan in the spring, when we have those warm days in the spring, you usually can count on it raining or, thunderstorms and stuff because it's just how it is in the spring. Early spring, anyway. I was looking at the forecast for next week. I always like to look at the weather for Thursdays because I try to make plans, or have in mind at least what to do with the grandkids while they're here. And now this is next Thursday, so it's over a week away, which means, what does that mean? It means it'll change, I'm sure, between now and then. But it's saying it's going to be 78. And I was like, what? Now, please don't skip spring and go right into summer. I really love spring weather. I love 60s. I love 70s. You start getting into the 80s and then I start sweating too much. And I'm so sick of sweating because of being hormonal that I just I want some warm weather, but not sweaty weather. Not sweater weather or not sweaty weather. 33 and windy in Minnesota. Wow. So we must, because Minnesota, I mean, you're just directly west of us. So we must be getting cold weather tomorrow. Because a lot of times in the spring, it warms up, which means thunderstorms, and then a cold front will come through. So it's probably on our horizon. I didn't bother looking at tomorrow. I did. I just don't remember what it was because we have the grandkids tomorrow. I don't remember what it said. I was just so flabbergasted about the 78 degrees next week that And I was looking mostly at Easter. And Easter Sunday here is supposed to be 61 and sunny. I'm like, yes. I can play outside with the kids. Hide Easter eggs. It's going to be great. I love these turkeys. They crack me up. You have long, sweaty summers. 84. Southern Ohio, 84. Wow. That's wild. Yeah, I'm curious what it is, what the temperature is here right now. I got to take this sweatshirt off. The heat started coming on, or the furnace came on earlier, and I ran over and shut it off before it actually started. The blower turned on because I'm like, no, we do not need that today. We do not need the furnace today. It's plenty warm. So I started a new cross stitch last night while we were watching that documentary. See, I always do that. Did you catch any of the fabric sale that Janet? No, I did not. Did you get some? Was she selling the sewing girl? The sewing, I don't know the name of the line, but anyway. The one I love so much. Was it just like all her past lines, or what was she doing? I need to call her. I wonder where the spring quilt market's going to be. I should check into that. It's usually in May. But that's the one that kind of floats around. So if it's close enough, I might be able to go to it. Did you get some good stuff? Oh, her retired fabrics. Oh, nice. I actually hopped on. I did see it on Instagram like for 2 seconds. I was looking for something and I saw she was going live, and I popped on there and I listened to her for like 2 seconds, but I had to do something, and so I didn't know if it was her current fabric lines or her older ones. Did you get some? I was What? You were there? Mendy, that's so cool. Because I heard someone talking in the background or something. They were showing, I don't know. When I popped on there, they were showing like she was showing something, and they had like the price and I think the item number or something. And so she had someone holding, but I would have recognized your voice. Was it, how many people were there? That's so fun. So how close does she live to you? Okay. I don't like these windows down so low. Hey, Jan. Was it just on Instagram, or was she doing like Instagram, YouTube, and all that? I think it was Instagram I was on when I saw she was live. Yeah, if I wasn't so busy yesterday, I would have liked to have watched for a while. But what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, I have been so good the last 2 days. Monday and Tuesday, I made a to-do list. Now, normally I make a to-do list and then I completely ignore it. Like, I might do some of the things on there, but then I get like squirrel. Oh, I got to do this. And oh, and then I got to do this. And I don't get the things done that I set out to do that day. But the last couple of days, I have been kicking butt and taking names. Or like my son says, kicking names and taking butts. Yeah, just marking a ton of, and it feels so good. These are way over too far. I mean, this is folk art, not that it matters. It doesn't have to be perfect, but when it's that far off, I don't really like that. Let's just make this house a little bit smaller. I ordered a frame, Mendy, for the model that you stitched for me. That was one thing I got done yesterday is I ordered 3 frames. Okay, the sketching part is done. Oh, 2 hours quilt. Oh, you're quilting for her. Nice. Her daughter. Okay, so her daughter. It must have been her daughter's voice that I heard. Very cool. Well, tell her I said hi next time you go there, or see her, or talk to her. Yeah, I found a like a navy blue, kind of just a flat, sanded up, kind of grunged up frame online for it. Hey, Jan, how are you? Okay, just on Instagram. When did she come out with that fabric I love so much? I don't know the name of it. It's the one, I actually have my project bag over here. This one. With all the sewing girls. Look at that. That is so cool. She just thinks outside the box, you know. Very unique style. All right, I'm getting ready to hear. She Who Sews. Okay, a year ago. All right. You're stitching while you work. Allergies are horrible, so you took a sick day. Sorry to hear that. Well, it's nice to have a day off, but it's sorry you had to do it because you were sick. Yes, her fabrics are beautiful. I like her Valentine's one too. I'm in that bag of the month club with So Much to Love, and she did for February. They were like, they look like antique postcards with little girls on them. Oh my gosh, like, or kind of like, remember the day, because we're probably all around the same age, when you were at school and you gave your friends Valentine's cards. I mean, do they even do that anymore? Like the kind we used to have. I don't know. I loved all that stuff. She has a very nostalgic feel to her art. I need to water this down a little bit. Now it's going to stick. Oh, you're stitching while you work. Oh, no, I'm sorry. I'm so confused. No, not stitching while I work. Instead of work. I just can't type. I bought that Valentine's fabric. It's adorable. So you must make quilts too, Pam. I probably knew that. I can't keep it all straight, y'all. It was a big hit. You're talking about her that She Who Sews fabric. Now, did she do something similar to that years ago, or I mean, maybe I'm getting it confused. I swear I'd seen that artworks before from her. Not exact, obviously, but like that same kind of look. Oh, I know she did. This is what I'm thinking of. Didn't she do? not the Wizard of Oz. What is it called? Alice in Wonderland. Maybe that's what I'm thinking of, because all her characters, they have that. She just has such a distinct style. That's probably what I'm getting it confused with. So much for having a nice white background. Now I'm getting it all mucked up. I was trying to give you guys a little bit nicer thing to look at. Move these over. That's better, isn't it? Here's another one I want to paint. I have it. I just have to trace it onto some watercolor paper. So cute. I love fall most of all. Actually, I don't. I love spring most of all. But that doesn't rhyme. I love spring, and then my next favorite is fall. All right. I need this to dry. In the meantime, what can I do? What colors do you use for your background wash? I use a mixture of burnt sienna and black, just a little bit of black to gray it down, because otherwise it's too red. Yeah. If I had some Van Dyke brown on here that was not, oh, I should wet these colors. Van Dyke brown would work good too. Put some spatters on there. So when I first started my business and I was selling little original watercolor paintings, I used to do this. I actually would have a toothbrush and I would flick it all over the wet paint, and it would leave these little, you know, marks. I've probably told this before. If I have, forgive me, but and that would be my base, basically like what I do now. But I think it was even more spattered, and I would put salt on it, which made this kind of snowflakey look, especially for my my winter and Christmas watercolors. Anyways, years later, I'm talking years later, after I think we might have even been done with Primitive Folk. I want to say we were in this house. So anyway, but I had somebody email me, and they said, oh, I'm so sad. I have some of your original paintings from when you first started, and they were stored up in my attic, but they got moldy. And I'm thinking to myself, well, how would they get moldy? I wasn't really, And the more I thought about it, so I was like in conversation, like, well, how did they get, I don't know. I can't remember now if she was asking me to replace them or if there was something she could do to fix them or whatever. And then it dawned on me, well, I asked her, I said, is it just like brown, like specks all over the paper? I mean, is it literally mold where you can, if you unframe it and you look at it, is it literally mold or is it just brown spots on the paper? And she said it was brown spots on the paper. And I goes, well, that's not mold. That's how I painted it. Kevin and I just laughed our butts off. I'm like, oh my gosh, that's hilarious. All right, I should just rinse that off and be done with it. I was going to put more spatters on there, but I can always do that later too. I do too. Janet has that really cool Halloween fabric a few years ago, correct, with the creepy doll skeletons. It does seem like I remember seeing her Halloween designs too. The fabric was based on old Valentines she borrowed from a friend. Oh, that's cool. Oh, it was the best of She Who Sews. Okay, so still trying to understand this. So she did a few lines of She Who Sews, and then she did this final one and kind of did the best sellers of that. Okay. Where are my brushes? My little brushes. I wish I could paint with big brushes, but I'm doing all these little paintings, and I'm telling you guys, I'm really jonesing for some big paintings. I really am. But it's just not in the cards for me right now. I'm hoping sometime this summer because, well, I do have a retreat this summer too. This is not drying very fast. I'm going to go dry this so I can get painting on it. I'm like anxious to go, but it's way too wet. I shall return. Tricky hollow farm. It's supposed to be hollow. Oh my gosh, as I was drawing that picture, I think I spelled this wrong. Isn't it supposed to be Tricky Hollow Farm? Like HOLLOW? I have HA. Oh my gosh. Yep, I just looked up hollow. Oh, geez. Oh, well, what are you going to do? I might be able to, once I paint over it, it's harder to erase. Never claimed to be a really good speller. I got Turkey Hollow Farm. That's funny. So, Mendy, it looks like, at least we're trying to plan a trip to Missouri in June. There we go. Hey, like it never even happened. And then I can, it's kind of white where I erased it, but I can fix that. Oh, it looks like my computer froze up. Yeah, so we'll have to do lunch or something. It's such a, I don't know how, it's so difficult now because our boys want to go, of course. You know, they enjoy going and seeing the family as well. Okay, so that means no one is here because my mom and Jerry are taking their dog Emma and they're going to stay with my aunt at her house. Well, my aunt doesn't have room for everyone, number one. Number two, we'd have to bring our dog because no one's going to be here, you know, to watch her. So she has to go. And then Kyle wants to go. Well, no one's going to be here to watch his dog because his girlfriend's going to go. So we're going to have like 2 dogs. Anyways, long story short, we're going to be renting an Airbnb. And I have searched and it looks like there's one. I want to say it's in Sykeston. I can't remember, but it was like a uh, they allow pets, and there was plenty of room. I need to get on that because, you know, if it's rented or something, we're going to be bumming. But it's just not easy when you have pets. It's just not easy to travel if the whole family wants to go. Normally, the boys are here to take care of Athena when Kevin and I go. So makes it complicated. Can you hear my dog licking her paws? Boo Boo, quit. I can only handle it for so long. It just makes me crazy. Well, she is a licker anyways, but when she's nervous, because she's just been uptight, she has her thunder vest on, but she's been uptight all day because of the thunderstorms. And it makes her even more licky. She's a licky girl. Uh-oh, some parts of Sykeston can be sketchy. Well, maybe I'll run it past you when I find the Airbnb. Maybe I'll run it past you and you can tell me if that's in a sketchy area. Well, the last time we were there, it was for my uncle's funeral. And of course, we all went. And we stayed at a hotel that allowed pets in Dexter. Talk about sketchy. Yeah, was not happy there at all. And yeah, I'm like, and I don't want to stay in a hotel for that long. So we had talked about if it was just going to be Kevin and I and our dog, we were going to rent a camper and just like camp. She's got an area. My aunt has like a turnaround area in her driveway that we could park it, and we could have stayed in there. But anyways. Okay, I'll do that. Hi, Carol, watching from Texas. What's the weather like there for you? How much of a delay are you guys seeing? I guess that you can't really explain it, can you? Because I have all three of the turkey heads painted, but when I'm looking I'm watching it on the YouTube so I can see the comments. I'm just now starting to paint the third turkey's head. It's like, that is quite the delay. That is a good, I don't know, maybe a minute delay, 45 seconds. It's kind of a lot, seems to me. I think we're supposed to have more storms like around 5 o'clock tonight. There's another band coming through. Oh, there's no delay. Okay, that's weird. It's probably just my internet down here. Hello, Phyllis. You having storms again? Okay, no delay there either with Donna. Well, that's good. If we didn't have the studio and the house, and we have a barn out back too. If we didn't have so much stuff to move, I would consider moving. I would still want to find a place that had, you know, lots of land and around it and stuff, but closer to town where we had better internet and on a cement road or even blacktop. I'm just so tired of the dirt road. Ugh. But gal, there's just the thought of packing all that stuff up and moving the business, but yet trying to keep the business going. It sounds like a nightmare to me. It just blows me away. I'm like, we can put a man on the moon, but we can't get good internet where we're at. We are like in a mile from M15, which is a main. It's State Street. It goes all the way through. It goes all the way up. Well, if you guys aren't from around here, it won't matter. But Bay City, probably even past Bay City, I'm guessing. But it goes all the way down to like Clarkston, which is 45 minutes, a good 40 minutes at least, south of us. You know, and it goes through all these towns and stuff. I don't know. It's just like we're in this little valley or something where we just can't get good internet. It just doesn't make sense to me. Our cell signal isn't even really that good here, and we have a Verizon tower 1 mile from us. So it doesn't add up to me, y'all. I don't get it. I really don't get it. I want this to be a cross stitch. Have I said? I didn't say that yet, did I? I think this would be such a cute cross stitch. I can hear my husband practicing the drums up at the house. He's got band practice tonight, so they have a gig on Friday. I don't think it's good timing. It's Good Friday, but when it comes to work, it's a whole different thing, right? Got to do what you got to do. I love these turkeys. Send some rain here. We're so dry. Right? As if only that was possible. After the tornadoes here in Little Rock last Friday, it's a little tense. I'm sure it is. There's been a lot of tornadoes lately, hasn't there? We moved 3 years ago from 5 acres and a 3,200 square foot house to a 1/3 acre and 1,700 square foot. It has been a nightmare. Still trying to find space for stuff. Oh gosh. That would be hard. Barb from Virginia checking in. Windy here. Storms expected tomorrow. Hi, Barbara. Welcome. Yeah, it's going across. The stuff we're getting today, you'll be getting tomorrow. Then again, it's probably a whole different system then because you're not that far away. And this system looks like it's going kind of fast, so it might be because like I said, we're supposed to get more storms tonight. Maybe that's the storm you're going to be getting tomorrow. Pam said we must have bought your house, Kippen Hill. It's 3,200 square foot on 5 acres. That's too funny. We have 5 acres too, and I do love having a large yard. And we're surrounded by fields, and plus we're on a dead end road, so that's awesome. It's quiet. I mean, listen, I love where I live. I love our house. There's things about the house I would love to change, but I really love where we live. I can even handle the dirt roads. It's just this whole internet thing. When you have a business that you rely on the internet so much, and it's not real good. Tina Wu. It's starting to rain again. Loving your turkeys. Folksy Thomas is one of my faves. This will go perfect with that piece. Can't wait to stitch. You are so creative. Oh, thank you, Donna. This would go really well with that. I love him. Folksy Thomas. I should put a top hat on just one of these turkeys. What is it about putting top hats on animals that I love? I just love it. I saw 3 deer this morning, so that made my morning. I love it when I'm making coffee. While it's brewing, I always go to the back window and look out. And it was perfect to see them today. Yeah, the lawn. Right? I will never forget when we moved into this house. We went from like an acre lot to the 5 acres, and our acre lot was maybe it wasn't even an acre, maybe it was a half an acre. Anyways, it was small, and Kevin had a riding lawnmower, but just like the regular riding lawnmowers. And we moved in here, and he's like, it'll take me an entire day to mow this lawn with that mower. So we had to get one of those 0 turn. I think it mows like a 5-foot path every swipe or something. Anyways, we had to hop on that pretty quick because we moved in June, and that's, May and June is when the grass you have to mow it like every few days. Goats. Aw. Jan. You get to pick Let Love Rain Up. April 15th. Yeah. Started Teresa Kogatwall. Oh my gosh. I'm so excited for you. That is a large one. Even though yours is smaller because of the 1/1, but still, it's still as many stitches, right? That's so exciting. It's going to be so pretty. You probably told me, but remind me, what color frame did you get for it? You know what? Before I do that, you know, their heads can have like a blue tint to them. At least our turkeys did when we had pet turkeys at one time. Did I ever tell you that? They weren't really pets. They were actually supposed to be, you know, we got them so we could raise them. We got them as little babies chicks. I guess you'd still call them as chicks, right? Anyway, and we were raising them to harvest them, which was not pleasant. But because we kind of got attached, I didn't know I would get attached to turkeys. Like, who would have thought? But they are like dogs. They are so interesting, and we really enjoyed them. And yeah, I'm not one, I guess, to have animals that I end up harvesting to eat. I can't. If I grew up that way, it would be one thing, but I didn't grow up that way. You know, if you grow up on a farm, you kind of see it all, you're used to it. You can compartmentalize that whole thing, or, you know, but I'm a city girl, and it was too heartbreaking for me. Brownish redwood with black accents. Ooh. You have to send me another picture for floss tube when it's framed. So do you go somewhere local, or do they send you? Do you send it away? See, that makes me so nervous. I had someone contact me about stitching full coverage my angels, because I'd mentioned in my last floss tube that if you like doing full coverage and you want to, you know, do model stitching for me for my angels, I really need people. And I had someone reach out, and she's in, God, I want to say Australia. I think it was Australia. And she said that might be a deal breaker because of the distance. I mean, I would just lose it if she stitched something and then it got lost in the mail. Oh, it would be just terrible, because that's a lot of stitching. And I think that too, like sometimes driving down to get my things from Craft Gallery. I mean, it's a 2.5 hour drive one way. So it's an all day thing. You know, we make a day of it. And so it makes it hard to find time to go down there because we're so busy. And sometimes I want to just call her and say, can you just mail it? But oh gosh, that makes me so nervous. I like their little blue heads. Maybe we need some goats. I would love to have animals, but I mean, I'm having a hard time going to Missouri because I have a dog. Can you imagine? Like, we had chickens at one time, and I flirt with the idea of getting chickens again, but we were talking about it yesterday, and I'm like, but I don't want to, because, you know, we like to go places here and there, and it's hard enough to have someone watch your dog, let alone if you had goats and you had chickens and all these animals that need your attention. And I just, no. When we were younger, you know, when we had kids, you know, that would have been the time to do something like that. God, watching Michelle Farm Girl Dry Goods, watching her, like when her baby goats are born. Oh my gosh, they're so cute. And what was the video? The last video she showed on, I think it was Instagram. She dressed one of her goats up. What the heck did she put on it? I forget. It was so stinking cute. Yeah, it was Instagram because she messaged me back. Oh, baby goats are so dang cute. Plus, they eat poison ivy, and we have plenty of that. Hi, Tay. Welcome. You would, Jan? Oh, you would? Oh, that's awesome. Thank you. Your mom does full coverage, Mendy? I could check with her. I also have a friend that stitches for Just Cross Stitch Magazine who would probably be interested also. Yes, let me know. Because I have a lot of people wanting more of my angels. And I only have one person right now that does those. And it takes a good year to get. And he was just stitching something else for me, which I did get back. But anyway, hold on. I got to back up. I'm missing a bunch of stuff here. Oh, you use your Hobby Lobby, Jan. That's nice. That's nice that you have someone that, I do have someone in Saginaw, which is a good, no, I'm sorry, Bay City, which is about a 40 to 45-minute drive, which is way closer, obviously. And it's right up M15. I was just talking about M15 earlier, which is right like a mile east of our house. So I would just hop on M15. It's a beautiful drive through the country to get up to Bay City. And they said, because I commissioned some paintings to be painted, and they did the custom framing, and I met the lady there that I painted the paintings for. Anyway, I got a hold of them, and they said that they can do, samplers and cross stitch, and they know how to lace and all that stuff. And so anyway, I have considered getting in touch with them and having them do at least some, like the smaller ones especially. So we shall see. But yeah, Hobby Lobby. I mean, geez, for me, Hobby Lobby is a good 30 minutes away, so I might as well go up to this other place. Yeah, that's nice when you have someone close, that's good. What's the matter, Teeny? Oh, she probably has to go potty. You know what? I'm going to take a break because she has not been out to go potty yet today because it's been pouring and thundering and she's too scared to go potty. And before it starts thundering again, I really need to let her out. So I shall return. Come here, baby. You gotta go potty. Come here. Go potty. What are you running to? She just wanted to go out to chase something. Must have been a squirrel. Goofy dog. I'll leave her out there for a little bit. She's got her thunder vest on and it's sprinkling, so at least she won't get completely wet. Yesterday when I was done working down here, I'm walking up through the yard and I had on tennis shoes that weren't like leather, they were like the mesh. And my feet were soaked when I got to the house. The whole yard is just squishy. And that was yesterday, so now we just have big puddles everywhere. So these things, I don't know if you're familiar with turkeys and what these things are coming out of their head. So, and I didn't know this until we had turkeys ourselves. But so see, I'll show you a close up in a second when I get this one painted. Okay, so this thing I don't know what it's called. I'm sure there's a word for it. When I'm trying to think if it's when they were excited. I think when they're relaxed, it comes out and flops over their beak, but when they're like upset or whatever, it recoils and gets tight and it's so gross and it like shrinks up and then it sticks out of their head like that. Did you guys know that? Hello, Colleen. You order frames from Hobby Lobby and then frame them yourself. I use pins instead of lacing. It's very easy. A waddle. I think you're right, Barbara. Yes. So, I know. I ordered 3 frames yesterday, and I really would love to learn how to do the pinning and the lacing, one of the two, to get it like perfect. It's just very time consuming, isn't it? You know what? I think I see that woodchuck. Or maybe, what is that? We have a wood pile over there? Because I just out of the corner of my eye, I saw something move. And it looks like an animal. Maybe not. I'm just seeing things. All right, I gotta let Timmy back in. You're all wet from running through the water. Oh, you're soaked. You poor thing. Let me see if I have a towel somewhere. Yeah, I'll just use paper towel. Come here, baby. Oh, Lucy, all wet. And dirty. All right. Oh, waddle with T's. Gotcha. Colleen. Colleen has a waddle. That'd come out of your forehead. If you had a waddle, it'd come out of your forehead. That would be something to see. Oh, I don't want this one. What the heck was that? Oh, someone's coming to the studio. Shh. Athena, quit. She's so loud. It goes fast. Oh, okay, that's cool. She said, Donna said Teresa Vanette did a tutorial a couple years back and showed how to pin. It goes pretty fast. Beauty Fades or Strawberry Sampler. I tell you this, well, Beauty Fades isn't overly huge either. I was gonna say the Strawberry Manor one, it goes fast. I mean, if I can stitch it, yeah, it goes pretty fast. I love the faces on these turkeys. Which one speaks to you more? Well, Strawberry Manor, it would be good to start now because the colors are very, I mean, strawberries, are a summery thing, spring, summer thing. And you probably finish it like in strawberry season. And you could start, Beauty Fades has a little bit more kind of fall colors. Maybe not completely fall, but that's just my thought. Oh, you're welcome. I didn't used to. When I started stitching, I really was more, what do I say, conscientious of how big the prints were, or how big the charts were, uh, I don't know. I just became aware of things that I didn't know before I stitched. So, thank you, Teresa Bennett. And Lisa, for mostly Lisa, helping me to stitch. I said Teresa Bennett probably because, well, I mean, she was showing me how to do the sewing method, but she was going so fast I couldn't grasp it. Could not get it. Almost done with Strawberry Manor, and I will, Beauty Fades will come something after I finish Remember Me. I know. I wish I could stitch fast. Let me show you this. Okay, so this is something I'm working on. It's a retreat piece. No, it's not a retreat piece. It's for a Christmas box. But I started this Santa. I don't think I'll have it stitched in time. I think I'm going to have to use a computer generated image for her pattern for the box, but I wanted to get it stitched before and have it like fully finished and then make the cover, but it's due May 1st and I don't think I'm going to have it done. Look at this Santa face. Is that not adorable? I love him. I love him. He is going to be so stinking cute. Yeah, he'll be probably about this tall, maybe this tall. And then there's a couple feather trees and then some thingies here. Anyway, I love his little face. So that will be, so I can't sell it for 6 months, I think she said, after she does her Christmas box. So I might be able to release that probably at market next year. Thank you. Well, you know what? I finally found the flesh tones that I love that work so well together. Yeah. So I have used different flesh colors. And so here's the thing though, like with Santa, his face is surrounded by, white for the beard and in his hat. So if you use that 950, that light color for flesh, it works great. But a lot of times 950 is too light because if you're stitching a face, like a profile of a person, in my little folk art things, a lot of times it's too ghosty. It's too light of a color. So, but it's at least for Santa, I have it figured out what colors I like to work together. I don't know what she's doing. I know I need to call my aunt today. Just check on them. But I mean, you're in Sykeston, and if it's not affected you, then more than likely it hasn't affected Bernie either. But it's still nice to check in. Ooh, I just thought of something. Let's get a bigger brush. I can't believe I've been on an hour, over an hour. It doesn't seem like it. I feel like I'm just getting started. Oh, I love orange. I know. I can't believe it. Haven't heard any damage and burning. Good deal. So when we picked up the kids last week, I gotta tell you, this is kind of funny. I got this text from Bree, and I had to read it like twice to figure out like what is she asking me? I don't get it. So she asked, I thought at first she was talking about us doing this at our house, but I'm like, that doesn't make sense. And then I reread it, and she was talking about her house. So they're trying to get Easton to not use a passy. He's been very attached to it, and I don't know where she heard this, but she heard that if you tell them that you can bury it in the yard and in the place of the passy, a sucker will grow. Because I guess some kids call them their sucky. So passy. Anyways, um, so she said we just haven't had time to do it because her and her husband both work late, and she's like, when you pick them up, if you have time, if you can, would you bury them in the yard? Now, when she said this, I'm like, are you kidding me? Well, the reason I was kind of like, I really didn't want to do it at first because he used to have 300 passies. He used to have every single color. When he was a baby, he had one for every color outfit. Would color coordinate his passy with his outfit. So there was you know, a light green, a darker green, Kelly green. There was light blue, there was dark blue, there was red, there's yellow, orange, every color you can imagine. He had that color passy. And I'm like, oh my gosh, this could take us half the day to bury all these passies because I'm assuming like you bury them all separately. Anyways, and I'm just not one to say no. So I'm like, oh yeah, you know, we can do that. And so I tell Kevin about it. He was the same thing, same way. He was like, she wants us to do what? Anyway, it was just hilarious. So we got there and we were talking to, you know, Bree's mom about it because they didn't have school that day. So we didn't pick them up from school. We picked them up from their house. And we're like, what do you think about that whole thing? And she just kind of hem-hawed a little bit. And she was just worried that nighttime would be hard because like when he's here, like he's not so attached to it that he needs it for his nap. But it's just like in the middle of the night when he wakes up, you know, he wants one. So she's worried that, you know, nighttime might be kind of hard. Anyways, we're like, well, where are they? We'll go get the passies. And she's like, they're in the freezer. There was only 2 of them. So it was like not a big deal at all. And so, I mean, like Kevin brought a shovel and everything because we're thinking we might have to, maybe they put them all in one big giant hole. I don't know. So then when we discovered he only had 2 of them left because as he got older, he was like biting on them and he would break the part off. So they would throw them away. So he's only down to 2. So we didn't even need a shovel. They had a little, what do you call it? A little spade, little handheld shovel thingy, garden shovel. And so he got to bury them himself. And Bree said it's been going good. And and the next day there was suckers in place of the passies. So there you go. Had you ever heard of that, y'all? Never in my life heard of that. Oh my gosh, too funny. Nope. Back in the day, well, my kids, neither one of the boys they never really were never really attached to the passy. So that made it easy for me. Just kind of, you know, I don't even remember how we did it, to be honest, because it was not a big deal. It doesn't stick out in my mind. I probably just said, oh, we don't have them anymore. I don't know. I love pumpkins. I know, here it is spring and I'm painting fall. I'm a little confused, right? Hi, Deborah. Hello, hello. I haven't got to watch your second part of your video. I watched the first one yesterday. I gotta do that. We were watching, I was telling them a little while ago that we were watching documentary, geez, about Garth Brooks. The last couple nights it was a long documentary. It was a 2-part. And anyway, we finished that up last night. Kyle must be coming in. Oh, geez, I just messed that up a little bit. Anyways, I don't even know what I was talking about now. But yeah, congratulations on your new floss tube. That's awesome. Oh, thank you. I can't wait to see. Oh, your kids never used passies? That made it really easy then, right? All right. Make these leaves like I like adding when the water and the paint is still wet. When the paint is still wet, add other shades of brown in there and just let them run together. It makes them look more real. Not that I'm going for realistic. This is folk art, people, right? I wish I had pursued my love of drawing more, but I didn't. Guess it's never too late to try, though. Absolutely not. Never too late. No. Get you a sketchbook and hold on, I'm listening to Kyle. Well, so where Kyle lives, he's renting my friend's house. She moved to West Virginia to take care of her mom, and so he's renting her house, which is 2 doors down from the house I grew up in, where his grandma and grandpa lived. Okay, so it is when it's rainy like this, it's terrible. And if you lose electricity, I can remember as a kid, if we lost electricity and it was a rainstorm, the whole family, that leaf, look how cool that looks if you do wet on wet. Is it in the screen? All right there. Jeez, why is this so hard? There we go. But we would, so my mom had this big, like huge cement sink basin that her washing machine would unload in. And so we could dump the water in there. So the sump pump crock was on the other side of the basement. So we would have buckets. And my dad would stand there and fill up the bucket in the crock pot. The crock pot. Oh my gosh, the sump crock. And fill it up with water, and you would take it and go dump it in the sink. And we would just have this ongoing what do you call it? Line of, my brother, myself, my mom, and my dad, all of us would have to do that. Otherwise, our basement would flood. So, Kyle lives in the house 2 doors down from where I grew up. So it's, it's just a really wet area. And the road's probably even flooded, to be honest, over there. Anyways, we haven't lost electricity. That's the blessing, but I'm sure his sump pump's probably running like crazy. And last time they lost power was during the ice storm right before we went. I mean, the day before we left for Nashville. Kevin had to go help him hook up we have a generator that we let him borrow because he lost power and it had rained a lot and then froze, turned to freezing rain. So anyway, yeah, it's a really wet area. Where we live now, we have a sump pump crock, but there's never any water in it. We don't even have a sump pump because we live on, we have a walkout basement. We kind of live up on a little hill there, and which is so nice. There's just things that you remember as a kid, and you're like, I want to make sure that whatever house I buy doesn't have this problem or this problem, or you know what I mean. And that was something I was like, I do not want a house that has flooding issues. I don't want to deal with that. Oh, you watched Deborah's floss tube last night, right? It's getting that first one out of the way. Then it just becomes so much easier after that first one. Yeah, it's definitely awkward at first. I had actually recorded quite a few videos before I started floss tube. Um, teaching painting online and stuff like that. So it was a little bit easier for me to make that transition. But oh my gosh, if you go back on my other channel and look at some of my old videos where I'm like trying to give art advice and stuff, oh my gosh, it's terrible. I didn't have a smartphone, like a nice the cameras on these smartphones are amazing. I didn't have that, and I just didn't have a good camera. And I remember one time I actually bought what are those? GoPro. I bought a GoPro to do my videos. Stupid. That was so stupid because I couldn't see what I was recording. There was no screen to see what I was recording. And, it's the GoPros that it takes like not a 360 obviously view, but anyways, terrible quality videos. But anyway, got to start sometime, got to start somewhere, right? The point is, you just got to start, just like with that drawing. Buy you a sketchbook and just sketch whatever you want. That's right, I didn't do my Whimsy 365 today. I need to do that. For that, I need to start doing some Christmas sketching. Oops. Yeah, I sketched a ton of fall stuff. I sketched a bunch of spring. I sketched a bunch of like Stitchy Girl things. And I really need to get into some fall. Or fall, I'm sorry, Christmas. Oh my gosh. Talk about someone's last floss tube video. Let's just talk about Colleen's and Cheryl's last video, where I don't know how many times Colleen said I was dense. I know you got it from Kefren, but still. That was, I mean, when I was watching Deb and Kef, Snug Harbor Crafts last video, I was laughing. Sometimes you just laugh out loud. And I was laughing so hard when Deb said she was stitching that whale and she's like, I just wanted to kill that whale. I just started laughing. She's like, gray, 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 gray. Oh my gosh, I was laughing so hard. And then she goes, she's just, and Catherine goes, yes, she's dense. She is a dense stitcher. I was just laughing my head off. And then I'm sitting there, I think I was designing something or I was stitching. I think I might have been making the PDFs for Patreon. I don't know what I was doing, but I was working. So I was mostly listening. And then I look up and Cap has that thing that she covers up with when she's nursing. She has it over her head and Deb's just talking away like nothing's going on. And I mean, I was roaring laughing. I'm like, you guys are killing me. They're so funny. Right, Deborah? I agree. When you have another person to play off of and you can banter back and forth, yeah, it would make it a lot more comfortable, more easy. But you did great. Yes, it was awesome. My husband just came in and said he likes your turkeys. Well, thank you, husband of Jan. It's funny, Cheryl called this morning and apologized that she was so snarky. I said, what? I figured it was me being bossy. Right? She wasn't being snarky. I didn't really recognize that. That's funny. I know, so matter of fact. I know. Oh God, they're so funny together. And I mean, if I had the energy that Deb has, I love her energy. She's just so, I just love those guys. So enthusiastic, and it's just contagious. Oh. So if you haven't seen Snug Harbor Crafts' latest video or Stitching with the Sisterlies, first you have to watch Snug Harbor Crafts and then watch Colleen and Cheryl, and it's pretty funny. Well, and I messaged, well, I took a picture of my TV when Catherine had her head covered under that nursing blanket. I took a picture of it and I sent it to in a group text to Deb and Kev. And I just said, I'm like, you guys are killing me. Number one, just when she said, I just wanted to kill that whale. Just, it was so funny. And so we were cracking up about all that. And then when Colleen and Cheryl had their video, I meant to message you guys right like when I was watching it, and I got busy with something else and forgot. But anyways, Colleen and I were messaging each other back and forth, and I'm like, "Did you hear? Were your ears burning when I said something?" Because let me explain. So I have this painting that I did. It's like a profile of Abraham Lincoln, but it's a Ronald Reagan quote, and it says, "Oh God, what does it say? If anyone should understand, I don't know, the love of America, you look at the life of Abraham Lincoln," or something like that, something to that effect. And so Colleen, being the brat child that she is, on her last video, she goes, Abraham Lincoln has a lot. Oh, you were talking about the stand firm quote because somebody just charted that. I have a stand firm quote. It was actually one of my very first designs that I designed. It has like a soldier and he's holding a rifle, and there's birds and a folk art like flower vase and stuff, and it has that same quote on it. Anyway, Colleen's like, Abraham Lincoln has a lot of great quotes, all of his own, or something about all of his own quotes. He doesn't need Ronald Reagan or something to that effect. And I'm like, I knew exactly you were talking about me. Oh, so funny. It's funny when you can give someone a jab that's not even on your video, right? I do. Let me go get it. I'll show it to you. To be honest, I would like to rechart this because it's big. And I had it stitched on 30 count because that's when I first started designing. And I had everything on 30 count Cocoa or Mocha by Weeks Dye Works. But here, let me take it out of the thing. I don't like the color of the birds because they don't show up. I don't know. I think I just got a paper cut. I think if I recharted it, it might sell better. But right there. Be sure to put your feet in the right place, then stand firm. Yeah, 1776. Isn't he cute? I thought he had guns. He was holding flags. He's got a gun, though, on his back. You never seen that? Anyways, pretty entertaining when people are giving you those little snarky comments on their videos. I think it's hilarious. Yeah, I don't know if it's got a date on it. See, when I first started doing them, I didn't have dates on them either. Like, it might be on the pattern, though. Well, probably because it's so old. Like I said, it was like in the first 2 years I was designing. 2013 is the date on it. 2013. And it's kind of big. It's 193 by 153, and it doesn't need to be that big. Yeah, I might rechart it. Be cute. On 40 count, it'd be a lot smaller. So the finished on 30 count was 12 inches by 10 inches. So if you did it on 40 count, it might fit in an 8 by 10 frame. Maybe. Might still be too big for that. But anyway. Oh yeah. Cross stitch 333, stand firm. I had the numbers so ingrained in my head. I don't know the numbers as well now because I don't work, I don't do the shipping anymore. So I know you always made fun of me about that too. I must be like your little sister. You can pick on me, right? Well, I grew up with a brother, a dad who liked to be a big tease. My husband and our two sons like to be big teases, so I have some thick skin when it comes to people messing with me, so I know it's almost going on 2 hours, but I'm gonna finish this whether I'm live or not, so I figure I might as well just stay here and chat. When I'm done with this, I'm going to FFO the Annabella designs. I was waiting for something to FFO them, but I can't wait any longer. I have to get them done. I've got to get because I can't photograph them until they're fully finished, right? Then I got to, make the covers and print them and get, have Kyle and Kevin, probably just Kyle, stuff the patterns so I can get the kits done up. I mean, it's like 3 weeks away. And it's making me nervous. I just want to have it done. And then, so next, oh, I got some fun things coming up. So next Tuesday, oh no, I can't remember now, Tuesday or Wednesday, I am meeting somebody that is one of my whimsies, and she lives in Grand Blanc, which is maybe 20 minutes from here. We're going to meet in Davison, which is like the midpoint for both of us. And because she contacted me because she has an antique sampler that she thought I might want to reproduce. And it's really cool, really different than anything I've ever purchased. So we're going to meet. I'm going to buy her lunch, and we're going to do that next week, I think Tuesday at 1 o'clock. And then Friday at 1, Donna is coming from Lansing to my studio, and we are going to record and photograph her finishing the Biscore New so that we can have a handout for the class that she's teaching at the Annabella's retreat. So yeah, those two things are happening next week, so that's cool. And I'll chart this antique reproduction. I'll chart that one fairly quick just for the fact that it's not mine and I don't want to have it in my possession, any longer than I have to. It's not a real big one, so probably have to get it. I'll probably have it stitched right away too, because I'd want to have her original here when I release the pattern. I'd want to show that on my video, so yeah, to get on that right away. Oh, I love those leaves. Where are we at? No, not Rachel. Oh, I wish Rachel lived just 20 minutes away. No, Rachel's like a 2-hour drive away. No, this her name is Jeffrey Glass, and I'm looking forward to meeting her. Woolly Girl says, I always wanted a brother. I'm always teasing. I have to learn when enough is enough, though. Cheryl and Ed will love those turkeys. Usually it's a sign that someone loves you. I pick on the people I love. It's my love language. Oh, it's definitely Colleen's too. Definitely. I know. I love how the turkeys turned out with the little blue heads. I think they're fun. I got all these leaves to do. Gotta do a little red barn. So everybody type in how many siblings you have. Like, let me know if you have, 2 sisters, 1 brother, blah, blah, blah. I always like to know that. I have 1 brother. He's 2 years older than me. Kevin and I are both babies of the family. I don't know what that's supposed to mean, but that we're the best. No. This is a little red round barn. One of those round barns. I love those barns. I think they're usually white though, but you know what? This is my painting and this is my little world. And I want a little red round barn. Two sisters. One is 5 years older and one is, wow, 9.5 years younger. Well, that's, so you were kind of not really an only child. I guess 5 years is not that big a difference, but 2 sisters, Colleen. Jan, 1 sister, 1 brother, and you're the baby. Deborah is the baby. Cheryl's coming on in a second. Oh, cool. Oh, you want her to see the turkeys? That's funny. Colleen is the middle child. There's 5 years between Kyle and Ryan. I mean, I did have unfortunately had a miscarriage in between them. But I always say it's, we didn't plan on having like a lot of kids. And so I don't know, I don't know how to even say this without, I don't want to hurt anyone's feelings or say anything inappropriate, but like, I feel like if that middle baby would have made it, I don't know if we'd have Ryan. And I love Ryan. I adore my kids so much. Like, oh, I just love my kids so deeply that I'm tearing up. It makes me so like sad to think about that. But anyway, so there's 5 years between the boys, and they ended up being a lot closer when they were younger than I thought they would. I figured they'd have such an age gap, they wouldn't really play together. When Kyle got older, that was the case, obviously. But by then, Ryan was in school, so he had friends. But when they were younger, they actually played together pretty well. So that was good. And now they're definitely close. I mean, we do, like, we make a big deal. I make a big deal out of birthdays. I make a big deal, like, family time. And I mean, it's a big deal. Yep, for some reason the youngest is the favorite and the cutest. Hey, Cheryl. Glad you made it. Do you like the turkeys? You like their little blue heads? I want to make it into cross stitch. My older sister gave me fits. I am the best one. Oh my gosh, that's so funny. Jan. Did I say I was the baby? I meant to say I was the favorite. That's funny. Oh, that's too funny. Thank you, Cheryl. Your older sister still gives you fits. Yeah, I wish I was closer with my brother, but I'm not. What's going on with you today, Cheryl? My sister and I are like Colleen and Cheryl. I'm Colleen and Vicky is Cheryl. I love it. You're very close with your sister. You guys do a lot together, which is so cool. I love that. Hi, Carrie. Oh, thank you. Tay, she's the only child. I'm the only child of 7. I love it. She used to drink my bottles and throw the empty in the baby bed. My parents wondered why I was, oh, oh my gosh, was always crying. Oh my gosh, that's terrible. No matter how old I get, my sister still treats me like her stupid little sister. Oh no. You got Strawberry Manor back from the framer today. It's gorgeous. Oh, congratulations. That's awesome. Yeah, my brother and I, mostly him, he, like when my parents would go away and it was just him and I in the house, he was mean to me. Yeah, he was mean to me. One time he held me down and he did that thing like this with his big knuckle on my chest, and I end up having a big bruise there. And then one time he threw me into my room. I don't know. I ticked him off somehow. He threw me into my bedroom and I fell against the table next to my bed, and I still have a scar tissue there, like a lump that moves around. Yeah. It's like, Mom and Dad, please don't go out. But I never narked. I wasn't a narc. Yeah, looking back, who knows? Maybe I deserved it. I don't know. Probably antagonized them. I'm not saying I was a perfect child. That is for sure. I remember this one time we had a babysitter, and I think she was a cheerleader or something. I don't know. I was fairly young, probably maybe, well, if he's 2 years older than me, then um let's think about this. Let's say he was 11, and I was 9. That sounds about right. Anyways, she wanted me to, like, she was trying out for cheerleading, and she wanted me to stand on her shoulders, like they do in cheerleading and stuff. And I'm kind of afraid of heights, especially when I was younger, and I didn't want to do it. And she was like, kind of forced me to do it, and I did it, and I fell and hit my head. And oh my gosh, I was scared to death that I was gonna die. I was one of those kids that I'm gonna die. Got the wind knocked out of me couple times actually, and I thought I'm gonna die. I was a really weird, quirky kid, like extremely quirky. I'm still weird, but I'm not quite as quirky as I used to be. Wait, where are we? Are we having sibling rivalries here? Cheryl had to do that to Chris and me. We weren't even aware of it. Wait, I gotta go. No matter how long. Okay, no matter what, when you have a sister, you have a friend. Oh, that's so sweet. Will this be? Yes. By the fall, I don't know. I can't. That would be awesome. It wouldn't be hard to stitch. It's just by the time I chart it and get it out stitched and get it back. I don't want to bother. Oh, wait. I don't want a brother now after hearing that. Keep quiet, sure. Oh, that's funny. Did you wander down the halls crying when you were dying, keeping everyone awake? No. Weird is the new normal. Well, I'm normal now. That's funny. It will be dense. No, it will not be dense. It's just going to be the turkeys. It's going to be these things, and it won't be this big. What was I going to say? I lost it. Oh, did I go up and down the hallways crying, keeping everyone awake? No. However, here's a couple stories I'll tell you. I used to be like deathly afraid of going to bed, and I think it was that prayer. If I die before I wake, I pray the Lord my soul to take. I think that gave me an H and H, like Laura would say. So I thought I was going to die when I was sleeping. I swear that is probably. Probably why they started shutting their door, because they knew I'd do that. So this one time I was laying in the hallway next to their door. Now, mind you, here's the hallway. I don't know if you'll be able to see this here. Here's the hallway. Okay. Here's my door in my bedroom. And then the door to this is my door. And then this is. Stop. Hold on. Okay. Oh, God, I lost my train of thought. Oh, that's right. I was doing this. And then, I'm sorry, my alarm went off. Now it's probably muted, isn't it? Is it muted? No. Okay. And then this was like their door, or something. I don't know. Anyways, and this is, so here's my room. Here's my bed. Here's their bed. I'm not that far from them, y'all. I'm right here. But I would lay, no, that's right. Their door was here, so this was probably more like it. That's what it was. That's what it was. So I would lay right here one day. And then this was the hallway bathroom. This is the bathroom, the sink, the toilet, and the shower, whatever. And then my brother's room was here. Okay. So I would lay right here. Like, I'm not that, but I just felt like I was closer to my parents. So I wasn't as afraid. My dad gets up to go to the bathroom and it's dark and he's half asleep and he tripped over me and probably swore. I don't know. My dad wasn't one to really swear, so he probably didn't actually. But I mean, poor guy. I was a weird kid. What can I say? Okay, hold on. I got to go back. Wandered down the hall thinking I was going to die. My grandpa died, and I thought I was going to also. Oh, Cheryl, that's so sad. I so agree with the prayer I taught my kids. May angels watch me through the night and greet me when the. Yeah, they did change it. I think it's. Thank goodness they did. I think they changed it because of that reason. Freaking little kids out. I will chart it. I'm going to. That'll be my goal. This will be a fall chart. Thank you, Cheryl. That prayer scared me too. I totally get what Teresa is saying. I would tell Cheryl Bible stories about Jesus and apples that benefited me. Narcissistic at heart when young. LOL. My big brother was my idol, and I always wanted to tag along with him. Mom usually made him take me. He didn't appreciate it, but we are still very close today. That's awesome. Aw, that's so sweet. You know what? My computer is about to die, so I won't be able to read comments here in a couple seconds. So I'm going to go ahead and go. But this has been so much fun reminiscing about my childhood with you guys and hearing about your sister and brother stories. I love that topic because we could go on, couldn't we? Let's continue this next week. So Cheryl, join us next week again, because otherwise, you're going to have to be here to defend yourself. Have a wonderful week, everybody. Thanks for joining me today. And yeah, I guess I better get this painted and scanned and start charting it immediately, right? I think she meant chart the sketch of your floor plan. Yeah, that's funny. Oh, that's so funny. Oh, you want me to chart? That's funny. You guys are so silly. All right. Love you guys. Thanks for joining me today. Take care. Bye.